Number one has always been the money. You can make anything between 26,000 right up until 34,000 around that. It's like,
hi guys, welcome to my apartment tour. This is my kitchen. Of course, you can see it's very nice and spacious. I love it so much. It has so much light.
You should never be late to any appointment with a South Korean.
Hi guys, you're welcome to another reaction video. In the video, I will like you to see South African and Nigerian ladies sharing their experiences and life in South Korea. If this is what you want to see, please kindly sit back and enjoy this video.
Hi my loves, one of my Tomies asked for me to share the pros and cons of moving to South Korea. Okay, number one has always been the money. You can make anything between 26,000 right up until 34,000 around that. It's like, I don't know what other motivation you would need for you to actually come and live here. Number two for me will always be access to healthcare. Back home, angna medical aid. Yes, South Africa, I wasn't supposed to live in South Africa. South Korea, they pay 50% of your medical insurance. This means that gakhulu doctor mangathi so ngithi ouch sibhedlela why I have medical aid, no ways. That's like the is a concept for me. The fact that I don't pay rent, the fact that I don't have to pay rent to anyone is crazy business. It's crazy business because every day so far away from home, but also it slaps. Like, I don't have rent problems. The next best thing about moving abroad is that you get a chance to find yourself, right? I'm speaking for myself because had you told me 3 months ago that I was going to be okay, I wasn't going to believe you. Like, you have to, you end up having to be a person who was like, you have to be by yourself. You need to learn how to be by yourself, and you actually really do. Like, I'm way less dependent on anyone in my life, like not my friends, not my sisters, no one, not a partner, nothing. I'm just standing by myself because I've come to learn Guti, you're alone in this, and I think that's a positive thing. Like, that's a great thing. That's a thing that you get with my babies. I love them down. The other day, actually, tears came to my eyes thinking about leaving South Korea. The day that I do leave, it's really going to break my heart because you create such a bond with them. My colleagues as well are amazing. I'll cover that in the cons, but like, so far, great experience. Everything has the good, everything has the good side. The bad part of this is that for me, the money doesn't feel real. Now, when I say this, you are using a completely new currency, and I know it's okay. Let me make an example. I know if I have 2,000 in South Africa, I know how to make it work for me. Like, I know, let's say in a month I only have 2,000 rand. I know how to make it work for me. In South Korea, it's completely different. Like, I don't know what 2,000 rand actually means. You can know how much money is. What do I always is something else. That's my first con. The second con is always and forever being away from these people right there. That's my family. Yeah, you need to be ready for that, okay? Be ready to cry all the time because you just miss home. Like, you just miss home. Like, you miss home. 3, not being able to speak the language fluently or understand the language. I can only say 3 Korean words. I can say kamsamida, which means thank you. I can say annyeonghaseyo, which means hello, and I can say jincha, which means really. Those are the only 3 words that I know and that I use a lot. So it's a bit, the tricky part about Koreans is that the minute you walk in and you're like annyeonghaseyo, hangul moteo, okay, I also know that means I don't know Korean. But the language barrier, I can't imagine myself nichola with a Korean person because and even my English is a bit hard for them to understand. I speak very fast, I'm aware of this, so trying to connect to a person is a bit difficult. And yes, it does exist. Yes, it's real. Yes, people have gone through it. Personally, I've only had one incident, and I shared the incident, so you can go through my page to check it out. As Koreans fought and they don't have a reaction, that is short. Every single time it happens, I'm just like usuzile, and it's like, yeah, usuzile, and then what?
My apartment tour. Welcome to my apartment tour. This is my kitchen. Of course, you can see it's very nice and spacious. I love it so much. It has so much light and so much life, exactly how I like it. And going through to the sitting area, There's not much furniture. It's very quite simple, straightforward. That's exactly how I like it because I stay alone. And off to the view. I mean, there isn't much to this view, but I like that I can still see people and things and stuff like that. Also, I like that in Asia they have this window net. I don't know what it's called, that allows air to come in without flies and mosquitoes come through. Of course, now this is the view from, this is so beautiful. Look at this. From the window of the whole house. And that's open plan. Now I'm taking you through to the bathroom, which is a guest bathroom, because I have my own bathroom that is answered to my main bedroom. Yep, it's so nice and beautiful like that. Moving on, taking you through to the main bedroom. This is a 3-bedroom house, but only one person stays here. How insane is that? Look at this bedroom. Of course, I needs to look a little bit girly than this, but I love it so much. The light, my TV, insert, my own space. Guys, please move to Korea. We have to move to Korea. I love this so much. It's so beautiful. And of course, right next to the bedroom is the laundry area where I do all my laundry and hanging. As you can see, there's a washing machine. Okay, so in Asia they have this thing where there's outdoor shoes and indoor shoes. This is where I leave my outdoor shoes, and some of them are inside the wardrobe or the closet, whatever you want to call it. When you come inside, you make sure that you put in your indoor shoes with no dirt. This is the spare bedroom, which I've turned into an office just so I can do some work after work sometimes.
Hi there, this is Toyiba again, and today I want to talk about 12 things that you should not do in South Korea. The number one thing, which is the most obvious thing if you ask me, is that you should never be late to any appointment with a South Korean, or with anyone for that matter. You should never be late to anything. Koreans really hate it so much, and it's like a breach of trust for them. The second thing is that you should never wear your shoes inside the house. Like, you're just coming from somewhere and then you just enter the apartment and go about your business. It's really, really frowned upon here in South Korea. So most people have some kind of a pair of slippers that they wear inside the home. So you off the one that you're wearing from outside, and then you wear the one that is for house alone. The next thing, which is the number 3, is to be speaking or to talk loudly in a public space, especially on public transportation like the bus or the train or anywhere. Maybe you're just going out with your friend and you decide like, oh, let's just about this. You have to be as quiet as possible. Nobody said you should not talk, but you should be mindful of other people that are in the same space with you. Another thing you should not do in South Korea is not to receive gifts with one hand. So it's like generally a sign of respect that whenever, especially someone like your boss or an elderly person who is trying to give you something, you have to take it with your 2 hands. That shows that you are really respectful and you are mindful of the culture here. Number 5 is that you should never tip in South Korea. There's nothing like tipping, like, oh, after eating you enjoy the service or you enjoy the products, that maybe the food that you had and you are like, oh, I need to tip this restaurant or something like that. Just like it's normal in other parts of the world, it's almost non-existent in South Korea. The number 6 thing you should not do in South Korea is to eat before the elders at the table, or to stand up after eating before the elders at the table. You have to wait till the elders on the table start eating before you start eating your food, and after eating you have to take your time and wait for the elders to stand up and leave first before you can take your leave. Number 7 thing that you should not do in South Korea is to assume that everybody speaks English. That is totally wrong. If you assume that everyone speaks English, then you would have so much difficulty. That's why it's advisable that tourists who intend to visit South Korea need to learn at least the basics of Korean language in order to survive in South Korea. The number 8 thing that you should not do in South Korea is not to recycle properly. This is very common for people that only come for a short period of time and are not used to recycling the trash properly. It's a very serious thing in South Korea, and there are penalties for people that actually do not obey this rule. Everything must be sorted properly and be disposed of properly. There are categories for each trash, and like there are different containers where you have to dump them, so be mindful of that and research well before you come into Korea. I think the last time that I checked, the penalty for disposing trash improperly is probably like 1 million won. I'm not sure. I'm sure somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, and that's about 1,000 US dollars. So yeah, it's a big deal. The number nine thing that you should not do in South Korea is to refuse gifts or items or orders. This is very peculiar to people that have to answer to bosses or to elder ones. In South Korea, if somebody give you order, it's very serious that you take it, especially if the person is your boss. And if people give you gifts, you should not refuse it. It's a very big sign of disrespect. Another thing, which is the number 10th thing you should not do in South Korea, is to sit at the designated seats for disabled, elderly, and pregnant women on the bus or on the train. That is very bad thing to do. It's not like anybody will take you up on it, but sometimes the locals can confront you and ask you to stand up from the seats. It's usually marked pink for pregnant women on the train and maybe yellow or orange for these categories on the bus. Although it is quite common to see Koreans wear skimpy skirts all around the country, but it is very, very uncommon to see someone wear a sleeveless top in South Korea, as it is generally not, I won't say acceptable, but it's frowned upon. So it's something that you should not do. The number 12 thing and the last thing that I will be mentioning that you should not do in South Korea is to talk down on anyone. Even if you are talking to your age mates, you should still maintain some form of informal, polite tone when you are speaking. And this is provided for in Korean language. But often I've seen like English language speakers not being able to abide by this, because you know English is a very proud language. But it is very important that you are conscious of this, especially when you are talking to elders or when you are eating with them. There are lots of conscious words that you should not say, and there are some tones that you should not take when you are talking to them.
Hey guys, you're welcome back. So I guess you all learned something from this video. As for me, I also learned a lot from those videos because I'm this type that love to travel. I love to explore. I love to mix up with people, right? Because I believe that traveling helps me to know a lot of things. Traveling helps me to learn a lot of things, like other people's culture and their way of life, right? And I'm this type that when I travel and mix up with other people, I try to learn their culture, I try to learn their way of life. The good ones I see, I try to copy it and add it to my lifestyle. Because sometimes you may be thinking that you're getting it all right, but not knowing that you are getting it all wrong. And when you travel, you're in and you will say that you've been wrong all this while. Like, I know I've been to Ghana and I learned a lot of things from Ghanaians. Naturally, we Nigerians, we are loud. Like when we speak loud. Like when we are on call, like if you are taking a call, we don't find it necessary to reduce our voice unless you are a banker, right? Yes, like bankers, when you see them taking calls in their offices, like they speak very, very low. But naturally, an average Nigerian, our voices are so audible and we don't see it like there's anything wrong with it. So when I travel to Ghana, I noticed that Ghanaians, like whenever they are talking, they always tone down their voices. They always speak calmly. Their voices are always low, and whenever they are taking calls, like you won't even know that someone is taking calls, right? And when I noticed all those things, I loved it. I said to myself, wow, I love the way Ghanaians take their calls. Like they speak very calmly. You won't even know that this person is on call. Unlike us, when we are taking calls, someone that is very far from us will be hearing what we are saying. Like our voices are usually loud, right? So I said to myself, I had to copy this lifestyle. I love it, and I had to take that lifestyle. Right now when I'm taking calls, you won't even know that I'm actually on call. You won't know. There's a lot of things I saw in them that I love, but I wouldn't have known about all those things if I was still in my country, or maybe if I didn't travel to Ghana. If I didn't visit Ghana, I wouldn't have known that, oh, this is actually how they behave, and I think it's nice. I wouldn't have seen all those things. So I had to um take that lifestyle and add to mine, right? So I love traveling because when I travel, I also learn good things, and it helps me in life. It helps me to move on. It helps me to rebuild and reshape my life.